Feel good. Feel good. Last couple days been good. Practice. Feel good.
It's just not normal. This guy.
Yeah. After the San Antonio game, I felt sore, but coming off the back-to-back, just a normal soreness. And we had a day off. I didn't do much that day. In the morning of that game, I felt tight. Felt tight, but felt like I was just off the back-to-back. And playing in the game, like your back just started getting tighter and tighter and tighter throughout the game. And by the time halftime came, I just couldn't. The pain was too much.
How much of an issue was this for you most of the time, and how useful?
I mean, it's frustrating because I always set a goal out every year to play 82. That's always been like a goal of mine. So just missing the game period sucks. It's frustrating more than anything, especially the games that we had that I felt like we should have won. Felt like we would have won if I played. So just sitting back watching that, not being able to do something about it is definitely frustrating. Feel good. Just been getting a lot of treatment, getting back to my normal routine. So just taking care of it, tending to it, so it just don't be an issue.
How helpful were having these 3 days to kind of do some of that stuff?
I mean, it was big, because I got tired of sitting there watching. It just sucked playing, and even I think the last game I had to put my pride to the side because I wanted to play that game, but I just tried to use these 3 days to take advantage of it.
And obviously, big games from De'Aaron during that time. I mean, just
amazing.
What stood out to you watching that?
I mean, it was incredible. It was incredible to watch, man. I'm surprised he haven't had multiple 50-point games throughout his career. But to see him score 60, and he should have had 50 plus. I was on him for missing so many free throws. But that was incredible, man. To be able to see somebody do that, the will that it takes to do that. You gotta appreciate it, man. Playing with him, he definitely deserved more attention, more of a spotlight as being one of the best point guards in this league. Because what he's capable of doing, I don't see other people in the league able to do the things he's able to do. So it was incredible.
Is there any aspect of with you and Malik Domas coming back, figuring out the way to sort of keep him rolling on this momentum?
Yeah, it just makes his rhythm be easier, because it's difficult, scoring that many points in a game, especially when teams could key in on you, try to take away a lot of things that may work, force other people to do stuff. Now, with us coming back, you want to force me to do something, you want to force Doe to do something, now you got to pick your poison, so it makes it easier on all of us.
This almost seems like a little bit of a mini reset for y'all. At 8, 7 through 15 games, you get these off days. Sounds like you're getting reinforcement here. What do you feel like as you look at how you guys are playing? You guys need to do better.
I mean, just execute. We got to be better defensively on a lot of ends of the floor. And a lot of those games, we didn't shoot the ball well either. So using it to kind of reset, get a rhythm back, shooting the ball, get everybody, legs back under them, because those first 2 weeks, it was tough, with all the traveling and everything. So now just kind of settling down, understand what we need to do and how we need to do it.
DeMar, did a different vantage point, just sitting out a couple games, kind of give you a different perspective on anything you guys are doing, or help you kind of see anything differently?
Just understanding, points to the game when it's time to kind of slow it down when we kind of may get out of control, and understanding points of the game where we can take advantage of certain things even more, So just sitting back and just watching that and understand how I could, be more vocal to the guys at certain points of the game where we can take advantage of, some offensively or defensively.
You guys played 15 games in 26 days, which seemed pretty condensed. Have you ever had a stretch like that at the start of the year, and how do you think that kind of impacted all you guys?
I'm sure I have. I mean, it had to be. I played in a lockout year. I played after the COVID year, so I'm pretty sure it was condensed at some point. So it's always just tough, especially with traveling involved and everything. So, you know, like I said, everybody get their feet up under them now, kind of settle in, understand, you know, how to take it from here on out.
DeMar, those last 2 games, you noticed Keegan, kind of took a couple steps back. Have you been talking to him about?
Hey, he's fine, man. We all gonna have some point in the season where we have a slump, we have a struggle. It's all about how you come out that struggle most of the time. We all gonna go through it. It's just a matter of not letting it bleed over to letting it be something consistent, 5, 6, 7 games. You know, we all gonna have games where y'all gonna question some of us a game or two. You know, it happens. You know, so he'll be fine. We've been talking to him. We all got the utmost confidence in him, so he'll definitely be fine.
Would you? Yeah, I mean, I apologize if you were good. But watching Fox kind of go to work, just what were your thoughts on seeing him kind of carry the load while you guys were out?
I mean, it was incredible. One of the most incredible performances, you know, I've been witness. You know, and you know, I've been playing with some great players, so to be able to witness that was amazing. You know, I just wish I was out there on the court with him more so than anything. But to see him do that, man, he's special. And the kid is definitely special. He need more credit than he deserves. He's one of those special point guards in our league, and more eyes need to be on him for that.
Sounds like help's on the way. Maybe getting a couple guys back tomorrow. How good would that be to kind of get reinforcements?
Yeah, we hope. Good day in practice today. They're on the court, so hopefully they're back out there. It'll be good to have them.
How they look to you? How are they moving?
They're good. I mean, they still got to get some of that basketball rhythm back. Last couple of days, getting a lot of shots up, getting a lot of individual work for those guys. And hopefully, it won't take them too long tomorrow to get going.
Does this feel like a little bit of those, in-season many reset moments for you guys? You get 3 days off, and you breathe a little bit, try to get your legs back.
100%. There were a lot of guys beat up after that last game, mentally, physically, and so we get a nice off day on Tuesday. Yesterday we went live for a little bit, but mostly the last 2 days have been practices more. We want to hear mentally, going over our stuff, and it's a good reset. Feels like we played a ton of games early.
DeMar mentioned the idea of maybe that'll help the shooting collectively, just get your legs back. Maybe that.
Yeah, you hope. I'll take anything. We'll take anything we can get at this point. Anything to help.
What kind of have been the points of emphasis in these couple days of practices?
We watched a lot of film of that Atlanta game. I think we shot ourselves in the foot a lot, gave up a lot of stuff in transition. So kind of cleaning that up and then continuing to get better with our sets in the half court with a lot of the different lineups that we use, different looks. Just kind of again getting those guys in rhythm. Went a little bit live yesterday to get them some game action, but for the most part, it's been a lot of individual work the last couple of days.
Like I mentioned, you guys played 15 games in 26 days. I'm curious, how grueling is that, physically and mentally, to start the year?
It's tough. It's definitely tough. I think there's, sick bug has kind of been going around. A couple of our coaches have caught it. I think a couple of players have been coughing, sniffling for a little bit, and then you add that into physically every single night. A lot of back-to-backs, a couple 5 and 7s in there, and luckily they eased up on practice for us a little bit, but it's tough. I mean, 15 out of 26. You guys can think about that. Hopefully it slows down. I'd rather it be early in the season we have that type of stretch rather than late in the season, but most teams will go through it.
Is there any drawback of having a schedule like that and all of a sudden you kind of come to a little bit of a halt because of those 3 days off and then having to pick back up again?
Not really. I think our bodies needed a day or two to kind of take a deep breath, sleep in a little bit. That was kind of nice. I feel like I've slept a lot more in the past 2 days than I had for about the week before that. So it's always nice. You get these little quick breaks in the middle of the season.
You had a long summer rehab. Obviously, you get dropped right in opening night. How do you feel about a month in kind of your return?
Still getting there. I think, finding again. I've used it a lot. The consistency of what we're doing. The early season again, kind of getting my legs underneath me, and we've had a couple guys out for a couple weeks. Offensively, I think we're throwing a lot of different lineups and trying to figure out the best way that we can play as a team, and so a lot of different changing moving parts. I was sick for about a week in there, and And so just looking for some consistency, build a couple days, build a couple weeks where it can just be consistent games, practices, extra work, keep myself healthy, and really try to build on that.
Is there any potential benefit to having a few games without some of your top guys in terms of other guys getting opportunities and maybe getting a feel for things?
I think so. It's great to see someone like Keon obviously get hot. Not having certain guys on the floor and him having the confidence of like, well, we need you to shoot. Like when you're out on the court, we need guys looking for their shot, and him not maybe looking over his shoulder like he could be with our whole team in there. Him getting that confidence. Orlando getting some minutes, Isaac getting some minutes. Mason was starting out there for a little bit. I thought Jordan's played really well in his minutes, and so everybody getting extended minutes. I'm sure the coaching staff probably likes it to get to see everyone play together, but I think it's good to see your whole team, but in the same breath, anytime you can have Domas or DeMar or Malik on the court, you'll take that too.
Mike's definitely emphasized like obviously shoot when you're open, but Keon talked about how sometimes you want to make sure that you're not taking away from some of the other guys or making sure it's the right shot. Just what's kind of that balance of recognizing like you're a good shooter and trying to get a feel for what is technically open and the ones that they do want you to take.
Yeah, it's taking the shots within our offense, taking good shots obviously, but then knowing the shots that if you're passing up a great shot to later in the possession get probably a worse shot, and so it's kind of figuring that piece out. Anytime it's inside out type of three, you got to usually take those. Anytime we get an open look within our offense or within an action that we run, you're supposed to take that. That's a team shot. But then again, I think a lot of guys, including myself, a lot of times you're out there, you're like, I'm going to play the right way. I'm going to drive, I'm going to kick, not going to take contested threes, not going to take contested pull-ups, and a lot of times you're looking for the best shot, and so it takes a little bit to kind of figure out what that is, especially individually. I think I'll take different shots than Fox takes, and Fox will take different shots what Malik and Domas and DeMar and those guys take. But for the most part, I think you're looking for the best shot within our offense, whatever that means.
What'd you think about just watching Fox kind of go to work and try to carry a greater, portion of the load with DeMar and Domas and Malik out?
Yeah, I mean we needed it. He's obviously capable of doing that. It's not something that I think we'll expect him to do every single night, but his just aggressiveness of I need to probably be really aggressive this game for us to have a chance to win this, and him getting up into that 30 shot range of just to get aggressiveness, playing downhill, looking for his shot, looking to be aggressive, making the defense react to him, and then getting everybody else going. And that'll change again as you have different guys on the court. But for those couple games where we needed him to get downhill and get in the paint and create stuff, it was great to see, especially be on the court with him.
Have you thought for a long time he was capable of 50 plus?
I have, just 'cause I've always thought he's a guy that can get to any shot he wants. Like there's special players in this league can get to their spots no matter what, and I think he's one of those players. So it just was a matter of if he was making shots, shooting well that night, and he was.
You know yet on DeMar, Demonis, and Monk even?
Don't know for sure, but both those guys practiced yesterday. We had some contact yesterday. It's looking good, but not right now. I can't say 100% yes, but it's looking really good for those guys to play.
All three, or?
No, Domas and DeMar.
What was Monk able to do today?
We didn't have contact today, so he did everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's like definitely out tomorrow, right?
No, not definitely out, but most likely.
Okay.
Most likely,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Given how busy the schedule was to start the season, how helpful were these last 3 or so days called for you guys just to get your legs back?
Oh, it was great. Gave the guys that are hurt a couple more days to get their bodies right. Gave us an opportunity to go over some things out on the floor that we hadn't had a chance to go over. So it was fantastic. A couple of days for us. Gave us an off day too.
Is that sort of implementing new things or re-emphasizing?
No, we haven't. This is the knock on wood. Hopefully we won't have to, but we really haven't had to implement anything new probably in the past week. But the tough part about it is we've had some guys out and some new guys playing, and then we haven't really been practicing, and so it just gave us an opportunity to continue to try to sharpen up what we're trying to do on both sides of the ball.
during that time, like Keon and Trey have been able to get a little bit of a rhythm. How helpful have you found throughout your career where sometimes guys are out and other guys get in the flow, even and that carries over when they return?
That's huge, to give guys an opportunity. It's hard to come by, and so minutes are hard to come by, and so when a guy gets an opportunity, especially doing what we know he can do, it gives not only them confidence, but their teammates and everybody else confidence for the long haul.
When you're playing so much and then you get like a little bit of a break, it just seems like it's normal that you guys, obviously need that rest and that kind of recharge time. But is there any drawback to having 3 days off when you guys have been going almost every day?
No. I'll take the 3 days right now, and whatever happens, we'll figure out. But you want to try to be able to give you guys rest. You want to try to be able to touch up on the things that you already have in on both sides of the ball to see if we can get a little bit better. We factor our season into 5-game segments, and like against Atlanta, it was probably our worst defensive transition game since I've been here, and it wasn't lack of effort. It literally, we just didn't follow our rules. And I think prior to the Atlanta game, we might have been a top 5 defensive transition team, but during that game, in my mind, we had to have been 30th. And then even with our pick and roll coverage, we did not execute the coverage that we were supposed to be in well. And again, a lot of it has to do with us not practicing and not doing any drill work at all, and just kind of telling the guys and expecting them to go out there and do it, which they tried, but sometimes you need that muscle memory, and so to have days like this to get some of that muscle memory back is much needed.
Coach Brown, back to the bench. Are you and your coaching staff getting a little bit more comfortable, outside, Keon and Malik? Are you getting a little bit more comfortable about their production now?
Yeah. But again, I got to take a hit on a lot of this stuff too, because I'm searching, and so sometimes when you search, you don't have as much rhythm with your minutes. And maybe you go in now this game and you come out at that time during this game, but then the next game or even the next half, you go in sooner or later. And so to try to get those guys a sense of rhythm and playing with the right group and run the right stuff for them, that's on me. And they got to keep trying to do their job when they're open and let it fly with confidence. And I think we're heading in the right direction where that is. I feel pretty comfortable with the direction of our rotation now. I feel pretty comfortable with the actions that we have in. I feel pretty comfortable with what we're trying to do defensively, and so now let's see what happens.
As a coach too, how does it feel that that help is on the way, the guys close returning?
You always, as a coach, you try not to think about guys being out and it's next man up attitude, because I'm not going to do it again. Who knows? Like like the kid Melton in Golden State, he's out for the year, and so when somebody's injured, you try to focus on who's available, because you never know if this can happen at the end of the year when it's playoff time, or if it can happen for the whole year, whatever. So you lock in on who's there, you embrace the opportunity that they get, and hopefully they do the same. And then obviously when they do come back, now it's like, okay, well, we can add this back to our playbook, or we can shorten everybody's rotation because we have more guys that we want to throw into the mix. Because we played Trey the last 3 games. I think Trey averaged 37 minutes a game, 38 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, look it up. Trey probably never averaged 38 minutes a game in his career, and now he did it 3 straight games or 4 straight games, whatever it was for us. So to be able to get guys back in an area where we and maybe them, I don't know, feel most comfortable is always a bonus.
With Domas and DeRozan, obviously with Domas and DeRozan, backs can be a little tricky. I know you listen to your staff, but is it the goal to keep their minutes a little bit lower than what they have been experiencing?
No, for sure. Ideally, 35 minutes a game for those guys will be great. At the high end, 36. And I think we've found a way, or I found a way to get them there. So not just for those guys, but even for Fox and anybody else, max you want to play a guy's 35 minutes, and so hopefully over time we'll be able to get them down there in terms of their average. But going forward, that's where they should be, no matter what. Hopefully a little bit even below that.
And with Keegan, he's playing a lot of minutes too. He's doing a lot defensively. Offensively, he's been struggling. How do you kind of navigate that as a coach to make sure he kind of stays confident, keeps taking those shots, and can get productive out there?
Just keep showing film where he could take advantage of the defense in this situation or that situation. Continue telling him to shoot the basketball, and he's like any other player, any other young player especially. They go through their highs, they go through their lows, and he experienced that a little bit in year 2. In year 1, you didn't see it much because everybody was having a career year in year 1, but he experienced a little bit in year 2, and we continue to add more responsibilities to him. And like I said, when his numbers call, hey, just keep working on getting to your spot and deliver. And if your number's not called but you're open, let that thing go or go make a play, and he'll be fine.
What's kind of stood out to you when you watch what he's doing offensively right now?
The one biggest thing that I would say is when he's open, he's got to let it go. There are times when he may shot fake, and he's got, like he had Bogdanovich closing out to him in front of their bench the other night. In the right corner, he had Bogey closing out to him, and Bogey had shrunk all the way in because we had somebody roll, so he shrunk all the way in, tagged. The ball gets swung to Keegan. He's closed out to Keegan, and Keegan shot faked, and he wasn't even nowhere near him. And put it on the floor, and those are the opportunities that I don't care if he misses 10 in a row, he's got to keep shooting. And we all have to keep shooting those. And I even brought it up about Keon at the end of the Minnesota game. So we all have to keep shooting them, especially a guy at Keegan's size and ability to shoot the basketball. And he did that a couple of times during the game, but he also let it fly a couple of times. He hit I think it was at the top of the key in front of our bench. He hit one, and it's kind of the same situation. They close out. If they close out short and their hands are down, shoot that thing. And so he knows it. He's going to let it fly, and if he doesn't, he'll keep hearing about it from me.
Mike, did the off days give you guys as a staff a chance to kind of identify and assess anything that you guys might be doing well or not doing well enough?
Yeah, I mean, we're always doing that, whether it's off day or not. And that's what I said earlier is it gives us a chance to fine tune some things offensively and defensively, shore up the stuff that we feel we needed to be better in. And one of them is our transition defense wasn't good, and we had an opportunity to work on it yesterday. We had an opportunity to work on it today. Now, I don't want to go into panic mode because we've been a top 5 transition defensive team so far. We've been pretty good. These last 5 games, defensively, we haven't been great. I think we're hovering in the 5-game span right around 22nd, in the NBA. I think offensively, these last 5 games we're right around 6th. And so we have to do a better job defensively, and a lot of it was our transition. A lot of it was our fouling, and our transition. Our fouling, and then our pick and roll defense hadn't been great, and the way we defend, we're going to give up some threes, and so that's going to be hit or miss. But those other 3 areas we have control over, and we have to do a better job in those areas.
Is some of that possibly, I guess specifically the transition defense, maybe the fouling too, a byproduct of the schedule and maybe the lack of bodies and just being a little bit worn out?
It could be, and like I said, Trey's averaged 37 minutes, 38 minutes a game the last 3 games, and not once has he averaged that over a span of 3-4 games since I've been here, and the games were relatively close together. So maybe I don't know, but we got to go through it like everybody else does. So at the end of the day, we got to play better, and our guys know it. We're going to keep telling them that, and we have to be able to help them better too.